Gronk trade's big. I mean, it's weird. It's odd. It's kind of interesting. And it's big news. Pandemic or not, I think that's like a whoa. Out of retirement, still a Patriot. Still, so they have to trade him. Crazy. It's awesome for both teams, which is the weird part. Like the Pats traded a guy that wasn't going to play for them. So in turn, they basically just went from the 7th round pick to the 4th round pick for not losing a thing. So, I mean, from the Pats, it's nothing but good.
Yeah, that was all the Patriot fans. Well, you either got this from Patriot fans. You either got the world is ending Patriot fans who are like, okay, Tom Brady, Gronk are now in Tampa Bay. Mookie Betts we traded away. There's some Boston fans that are like starting to wake up and be like, oh, like sports might not be perfect the next 20 years. And then, yeah, you got the rest who are putting up the strong face and they're like, we just traded a retired player for a 4th round pick. That's Belichick GOAT stuff. So
it is pretty good.
They're doing all right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I think 4th round pick also has a place in Patriots history because that's what they traded for to get Randy Moss, I believe, when he had his historic season. So
yeah. Do you think the Pats are going to trade this pick?
Only thing I was thinking that's brutal is, Pats make the pick and it's known as the Gronkowski pick, which you almost hope they just they pick like a big meat sack that plays O-line, so you can't compare them at all. Because if they pick like a wide receiver who finishes the year with 8 catches, they're going to be like, we traded what for Gronk? And that's just not fair to the kid.
You mean, well, yeah, but that would be like very far removed from now where everyone knows the circumstances of it. Because they didn't trade like
What do you mean?
They traded retired Gronk. I don't think anyone's going to connect the two, except like maybe 20 years from now when they read the transactions and they're like, wait, they traded Gronk for that pick and it was this? Like, why'd they do that? And then someone our age will be like, well, Gronk was retired and never going to play for them.
Well, Jim, you got to think of the timeline here. Gronk gets traded yesterday. The draft's tomorrow. So when the Patriots make that pick, it's going to be the Gronkowski pick. I don't think that player is going to be in fans' heads for sure.
I don't know, because Gronk was never going to play. So I don't think that player will be tied to him anyway. Do you think the Pats eyeing someone at 4, or are they going to now trade this?
So it's a 4th round pick. So I mean, it's tough to eye anyone in the 4th round. I'm sure they've got a plan. But
do you think that they're going to pick a player, or do you think they're going to trade the pick?
It's a 4th round pick. You just assume they're going to make the pick, or I guess maybe they could do something. But yeah, it's not. No.
That's crazy to ask.
It's like a 4th round pick is a really weird asset to be like, are they going to just trade that pick?
Don't the Pats always, they're rebuilding now, but don't the Pats always trade draft picks?
Yeah, but I mean, by the 4th round, like already so much of the draft has happened that like, hey, maybe you're right. Maybe there's a player at the end of the 3rd round the Patriots really like, so they trade that pick to move up to get him or something. But I don't think it doesn't.
I just always think
work transitive like that.
I always think of Belichick trading assets constantly come draft time.
Yeah, and again, like I think we have it reversed. I think over time, like it'll get lost that pick is Gronkowski. But at the same time, I want to be surprised if the Patriots have someone they're really into when that pick comes through. That
tying it to Gronk's tough because he's not Gronk. It's basically a ghost of a player. It's no one. It's not like he was going to come out of retirement and play for the Pats and then they traded for him. Like, he was nothing to them.
It's just human nature, though. I mean, we do it in baseball trades all the time. It's, I think it's when we do talking baseball, it's one of our questions we bring up a lot is the guy that you're traded for. And that's essentially what this is.
Wow. Okay. Mike Clark has a theory in the chat. You want to hear it?
Mike
Clark says the Gronk pick will go into the package to move up for Tua when he falls down to 15.
Yeah, so everyone is on the Pats getting Tua because there's rumors Tua might slip. Tua would have to slip, which I don't think is going to happen. I think it's more likely someone trades up to Tua or for G-men. But yeah, I mean it's a fun game to play in the sports world. If Bill Belichick can somehow get Tua, who was, as of 6 months ago, he was supposed to be the consensus number 1 overall pick. If the Patriots can somehow get him after Tom Brady and they can keep it running another 20 years, even as someone who's not a Boston sports guy, you got to love like what that would mean historically if the Patriots could be good for 30 straight years.
It was like Manning to Luck, but that kind of in the end is a fart. But at the time,
right? And that
was incredibly exciting.
Just shows that like sports don't work like that.
Yeah.
There was like the rumors for a minute that like they swapped firsts also in the trade, and that like died 5 minutes later when we figured out the terms. But people got excited about that.
The way I thought about it is that this isn't this isn't the last move for the Pats. This is the first domino where now they have more assets to move around the draft. But you made me feel like a big dummy for asking that.
No, I don't want to make you feel like a dummy because maybe they do have a plan that involves that, but at the end of the day, it's kind of what you were saying both ways. Like Gronk isn't a huge asset for them at this point because I think he would have been fine not playing.
I don't think he was going to come back for
that's
them.
kind of the price tag the Buccaneers paid. Like a fourth round pick at the end of the day is something, but it's also nothing. But that's because, the values to each team. I mean, the Patriots are smart enough. There would have been a lot of teams that were too proud to make this trade, to get a fourth round pick who at the end of the day might be nothing meaningful to your franchise. So, I don't know. I think it's a lot of fun conversation because it's Bruce Arians is supposed to be a cool guy. I think Bruce Arians wears these kind of hats actually.
He does. Yeah.
How about that?
I was reading about Arians and the Bucks now offense.
Yeah, they've got a ton of talent. It's a lot of fun, and supposedly, I mean, Arians is supposed to be like football guy, but players coach football guy, and he's really well respected. So in theory, they won't be grinding Brady and Gronk at practice, and they have a bunch of tight ends. So Gronk is an incredible blocker, but they don't need to use him on every play. So, I mean, there's a world where this works and it looks beautiful. I mean, there's a world where Gronk can't move his hips and Brady's old and the team's not coached well. So, I don't know. I mean, right now the Brady versus Belichick storyline is a lot of fun because they're both of them are so competitive that they're trying to say, I can do it without you.
Oh yeah, you think is there animosity or is that just perceived animosity? Because I didn't.
It's not like they hate each other right now. I think it's just being competitors. Like it's just natural for Tom Brady to think, Belichick couldn't have done this with me, and it's natural for Belichick to look at Brady and say I couldn't do this without Belichick. When the answer's 60-40 in the middle somewhere, but it's which one is your 60.
I don't know. Did Brady and did Belichick want Brady back? I just thought it was more amicable, the split. But
no, there's some rumors that it's not so hospitable, that like Tom Brady wanted to be resigned. Tom Brady said for years, I think he's wanted to play till he's 45, and people kind of thought that was a joke, and now they're like, oh, that's real. And the Patriots are notorious for getting rid of guys a year late, and Tom didn't look great last year. So, I mean, I think Tom wanted to stay in New England and keep running it, but they didn't give him the contract he wanted and stuff like that. And there's been like he's got his personal trainer guy that kind of runs his own cult, and the Patriots like banned him from the facility. So there's a little bit of animosity going on there.
And then with the Bucks, I was reading up because I was looking at the offense, and people were saying that this is the most weapons Tom's had since like Welker, since not Welker, Walker, and like back then.
Randy Moss.
That crap. Because you got Evans and Godwin. And then I was doing even further reading.
Jimmy.
This was a topic. Yeah. Well, I was interested to see like Arians' play calling, and like he likes going deep and doesn't use tight ends a lot in his history, but also, like you said, players coach, and probably will just be like, yeah, Tom, do what you want to do. I'll help.
Yeah, and it's there's clearly been a lot of conversations going on behind the scenes, and the Buccaneers already have two pretty decent tight ends. They drafted the kid out of Bama a year ago, and then they had another kid who was Ivy League, who's, I don't know, just kind of your standard white guy tight end. So they're wondering, I mean, could they use Gronk as more of like a kind of a wide receiver a little bit, because Gronk already did that stuff. Because I mean, Gronk was skinny this whole year when he wasn't playing football. They're saying he beefed up. Yeah, it makes the draft a little more exciting, because I think they definitely do. They try to give Tom Brady another weapon? Do they beef up the offensive line or something like that? I mean, it's a video game team that actually that in your head works, and if it does work, it's really cool.